Hello, my name is Megan Reed, and I am going to tell you about a community resource that you may or may not know about, and this is the Exceptional Family Member Program. So what is the Exceptional Family Member Program, or EFMP for short? It's a comprehensive, coordinated, multi-agency program and provides community support, housing, medical, educational, and personnel services to military families with a special needs family member. The program was started in 1987 as a Department of the Army program. It was designed to help families that have special needs make sure that they were placed or stationed in areas that could meet those needs. It became regulated by the Department of Defense. They have overall regulations and criteria, and then individual branches determine the more specific details of how their program is going to be run. And then each station delivers those services differently. So right now it is not standardized across all the military branches, but there are programs and organizations that are working towards that right now. So why is this program important to know about? We live in an area where there are military bases, and if you are coming across people in the military who have special medical or educational needs, then this program is important because it provides a lot of extra services and support for that family that you should definitely refer them to. And then the military lifestyle in and of itself presents a lot of different problems than your regular out of the military people. And so programs like this are important to know about so that they can address those special needs that come with just being in the military itself. Okay. So who is eligible for this program? Any military member who has a family member who requires special medical or educational needs. The program is mandatory, and it is ultimately up to the soldier and to report someone in their family with these needs, although most of the time it is identified through regular health screenings. About 70% of enrollees are found from the routine health screenings and self-identification, and the other 30% are from the mandatory screenings when you are being placed overseas. So if there is a family that is going to be stationed in Germany, the whole family is screened for possibility of needing an EFMP member. And 16% of military families are enrolled in EFMP. And then you can fall under the two different umbrellas of eligibility. You can be medical or educational, or sometimes you can have both. And then you're placed into one of 6 categories based on the severity of the needs. So medical EFMP, there are quite a few criteria that could qualify you under this. Obviously, severe life-threatening conditions that require a lot of follow-up support or specialty care, chronic conditions and mental health conditions, so bipolar and chronic depression, those type of things, obviously any schizophrenia or type severe mental health condition, asthma and other respiratory diseases can be included. Also ADD, ADHD, and anybody with need for wheelchairs, any type of adaptive equipment or assistive technology. And when it comes to environmental or architectural considerations, we're talking about housing and ramps and that type of thing. And depending on where you're going to be stationed, that can come into play. Educational EFMP is anyone with an IFSP plan, which is any children that require services such as speech, physical therapy, occupational therapy from age 0 to 3. And then people who are identified with special educational needs from 3 to 21 years old get an IEP, an individualized education program, and that's done through the school systems. So if you're traveling around with that, that can still qualify you for the military EFMP. The categories that you can be placed in, there are 6 of them. And this chart goes over kind of where you would fall in the categories. And the categories just help help the military decide where you can and cannot be stationed and what needs you're going to need when you get there. So here are the other 3. Obviously, category 5 is very severe. It usually means the families, it's called homestead, they will stay in one spot. It does not mean that the military member does not have to leave if the active duty soldier needs to go to Korea, but his family member is a category 5. The family members may be required to stay, and then the soldier takes an unaccompanied tour. So one of the misconceptions is that he wouldn't be able to deploy or go anywhere, and that is not true. They can still require that the military member go. They just might say that the family cannot. So where are EFMP duty stations? They are anywhere. There is not anywhere that's necessarily excluded, and it depends on the health needs of the family. Madigan is a top medical training facility in Washington, and so this is a huge EFMP duty station. We have access to a ton of medical and educational services and resources. Seattle Children's and Marybridge. There are psychiatric services here, University of Washington, and then you have a choice of school systems here because of where Fort Lewis is located. You can live north or south or on post, but you can choose from different school systems, which can help the educational special needs family. Benefits of enrolling in EFMP. So you get the access to specialty healthcare providers based on your needs. Case managers to coordinate your care. They don't provide medical care, but they do coordinate your care among different providers, try to get you appointments on the same day, and also make sure that your referrals go through and can connect you with other programs that will help you get all the services you need. It prevents you from being stationed in places without adequate care for your needs. So, like I said, if you are in the midst of chemotherapy, they're not going to send you somewhere where you do not have access to an oncology center that can continue your treatment. It provides family support. There are tons of Facebook pages and support groups at each installation. The EFMP office will usually connect you with those. And then it's cost effective for the military because in the end, if the military places you somewhere that you do not have access to your health or educational needs, they have to somehow provide that for you. So if you're having to travel far and get reimbursed for that, it can cost a lot. Plus, they would like to try to keep you within the military system, which is more cost effective. Going out of network costs the military more. And also, if the soldier is too worried about his family and having too many family issues, then they are not really focused on their assignment, and depending on where they are, that can be pretty detrimental to the unit. So for the military, the benefit of making sure that everyone is identified who needs to be is pretty important. So some of the top questions that people have about the EFMP program are here, and the top one is always, will enrollment hurt the soldier's career? There are a lot of people who do not want to be identified as EFMP because they are afraid of this. So a lot of times we try to tell them to look at the statistics that 1 in 4 E7s and 1 in 4 O6s, which are pretty high ranking enlisted and officers, have EFMP statuses because someone in their family has special needs. So you can definitely still climb the career ladder in the military and not have it hurt your career at all. It just means that, you have to be careful about which assignments you take, but there's usually options, and like I said, Madigan here and Fort Lewis in general is a big EFMP place, and they have tons of jobs that are still good for the soldier's career. How much does it cost? There are no costs to the family. EFMP is just a part of your profile. It's not something you pay extra for. And how often do we have to reassess status? So you have to fill out the paperwork every 3 years and get reassessed by either your doctor, the school, or both. And then if anything major changes in that 3-year time frame, then you would redo the paperwork as well. So disenrollment from EFMP, if there is something that changes that now you are not eligible for it or don't need to be a part of it anymore and would like that taken off your status, you can certainly do that. The top 6 reasons here are death, divorce, the medical condition or educational problem resolved, family member is no longer eligible for care. They could either age out or they moved out of the home or no longer part of the family. Unusual circumstances, and people have said other. So how do you connect people to the EFMP program or refer them? If you know their specific installations, then it would be best to call the EFMP office there. The JBLM number is listed here. And Military One Source is a great federal program that can provide you that information if you're not exactly sure who to call for a family. They have a 1-800 number that's listed here as well. And the EFMP Facebook pages, most installations have them, and they're a great way to start connecting with families and get some information on good places to go for certain services. They're really helpful when you are moving from one station to another. So if you have a family that is moving, it's great to get them connected on that so that they can help find, what services to connect to and good places to live. So certain school districts might be better than others, and it's good to know that information before you move. STOMP program is amazing. We have a really, really active STOMP program in Washington, and it's specialized training of military parents. So it's parents who have been through the special needs world, basically, and they are very knowledgeable about what you're entitled to. They can advocate for you. They come to school meetings and health meetings and anything where you might need a little bit more support from someone who's been through it before and knows what you are eligible for. The ECHO program is it's an extended healthcare option basically for military families. There is a copay for it depending on your rank, and but it can provide you with extra services, including a respite care program, and you get certain hours and a certain level of skill depending on what your special family member's needs are.